Have you ever stopped to wonder why we bring a tree into our homes at the end of each year? We decorate it with lights, colorful ornaments, and call it a Christmas tree. It seems so natural, so inevitable. But think about it for a moment. It's Christmas Eve. You walk into your living room, turn on the lights, and where's the tree? No sparkle, no colorful decorations. Something feels missing, doesn't it? The room seems lifeless, lacking that magical touch only it can bring. But then you wonder, why is this so important? Why a tree? And who came up with this idea? Many people think the Christmas tree is a modern invention, something that started as a simple way to make the house prettier during this time of year. But the truth is quite different. This tradition didn't start with Santa Claus, or even Christianity. To uncover its origins, we need to travel back in time to an era when forests were considered sacred and trees carried a significance far beyond what we might understand today. The Christmas tree is linked to pagan rituals used to celebrate the arrival of winter and the renewal of life. The earliest records of decorated trees date back to medieval Europe, where people not only used trees, but also adorned them with candles. Yes, candles, as a symbol of light amidst the darkness of winter. But how did all of this become part of our modern Christmas? How did something so ancient with such profound meanings transform into the festive symbol we see today? While the Celts and Norse saw in pine trees the promise of rebirth, other civilizations also developed their own symbolic connections with trees. But it was with the expansion of Christianity that these natural elements gained a new meaning. In the early centuries of the Christian era, European missionaries noticed the strength of pagan traditions and decided to incorporate some of their elements to facilitate the conversion of new followers. And the pine tree, with its resilience to cold and its unchanging color even during the harshest months, became a perfect symbol of Christian faith, hope, amid adversity. If you looked closely, you'd understand that it wasn't just the foliage that made trees special. There was something magical about their presence. They seemed to be a link between two worlds, the world of men and the world of gods. To the ancients, trees were bridges between the earthly and the spiritual, connecting the visible to the invisible. You could even say that trees, with their constant greenery, were on a mission to remind men that winter was not the end, but part of the great cycle of life. A famous story tells of Saint Boniface, an English monk from the 8th century who preached among the Germanic peoples. It is said that he came upon a group of pagans about to sacrifice a child at the foot of a large oak tree, sacred to the god Thor. Determined to put an end to the ritual, Boniface struck the oak with a single blow of his axe, and according to legend, in the place where the oak fell, a small pine tree sprouted. The monk then proclaimed that it would be the tree of Christ, a symbol of eternal life. But this story didn't end there. Now, let's meet Martin Luther, the man who challenged the Catholic Church and started the Protestant Reformation. According to the story, he had a brilliant idea while walking through a forest in winter. It was a cold night, and the stars were shining like never before between the branches of the trees. He thought, why not bring the beauty of the stars into our homes? What if, instead of looking at the sky, we could create something that captured that same light, that same magic? Luther, enchanted by that celestial vision and inspired by the image, decided to bring a piece of that brilliance indoors by placing candles on a tree to celebrate the birth of Christ. It's a breathtaking scene, and so a tradition was born that would remain at the heart of Christmas celebrations for centuries. That same tradition made its way to England, but this time it carried a royal touch. It was Prince Albert, the husband of Queen Victoria, who brought with him the customs of his homeland, Germany. Upon arriving at the English court, he was determined to share this idea with the royal family. And when Queen Victoria and Prince Albert decorated their Christmas tree with candles, something unexpected happened. The trend caught fire. In the blink of an eye, Christmas trees adorned with candles began appearing in homes across the country. It didn't take long for the tradition to spread throughout Europe, crossing borders and making Christmas an even more magical celebration. Just imagine, from a simple walk in the forest on a cold night, an idea emerged that quickly transformed Christmas into something entirely different. Candles illuminating the tree, not just as a symbol of faith, but as a beacon of hope and joy. Something that, even today, we see in every home during Christmas, a tradition that is constantly evolving. In the 19th century, German immigrants arrived in American lands, bringing with them the tradition of decorated Christmas trees. But here's something interesting. It was in the United States that this tradition gained a spectacular touch: grand decorations and twinkling lights. Americans spared no creativity, turning these trees into true works of art. The candles, which once symbolized stars and divine light, were replaced by electric bulbs in the early 20th century. What began as a simple and symbolic gesture has now become a spectacle of colors and lights that transforms any space. And that's when everything changed. Now, the trees didn't just light up homes, they illuminated streets, squares, and even major monuments, each one more dazzling than the last, competing for attention and enchanting crowds. Today, we have trees for every taste and style, natural or artificial, small enough to fit on a table, or gigantic, like the famous Rockefeller Center tree in New York. Speaking of giants, did you know that the tallest Christmas tree ever recorded was over 67 meters tall? That's almost the height of a 22-story building. It was in Seattle in 1950 that this monumental creation amazed the world. A true giant that made everyone who passed by stop and marvel. Can you imagine the number of lights and ornaments it took to decorate such an immense tree? Every year, Christmas trees become more creative and daring. Decorations range from classic themes to more modern concepts, featuring themed trees, minimalist designs, or ones full of personality. That's why the Christmas tree, with all its history and evolution, continues to be the ultimate symbol of celebration and enchantment. What many don't know is that around the world, this tradition takes on surprising forms, full of meanings and even curiosities that can completely change the way we see this celebration. In Ukraine, for example, the Christmas tree becomes a symbol of luck. Imagine a tree decorated with artificial spider webs. It may sound strange, but this tradition is followed with enthusiasm. Does it look like a Halloween scene? Maybe. But the legend behind this tradition is pure poetry. They say that one Christmas night, a poor family woke up to find their tree covered in spider webs that, under the morning light, had turned into strands of gold. Since then, these webs have symbolized luck and prosperity. People believe that these spider webs bring good energy and protect the home throughout the year. Now, if you think Ukraine is unusual, wait until you learn about Japan. There, Christmas trees are decorated in a totally futuristic way. Forget the traditional glass ornaments or golden stars. In Japan, what shines are LED lights in a spectacle of colors and shapes that seem to be from another planet. The Christmas spirit in Japan is not just festive, it's a true work of technological art. Imagine the scene, streets lit up by these glowing trees, creating a visual spectacle that captivates everyone. Let's travel a bit further north to Greenland, where the story is even more unique. There, natural Christmas trees are almost a luxury. This is because, despite the magical climate, the frozen ground does not allow these trees to grow. To keep this tradition alive, the trees need to be imported, usually from Denmark. This makes each fir tree a true treasure. Each country, with its traditions and beliefs, adds a bit of its own identity to the decoration of its Christmas trees. They are all treasures. In fact, in some parts of the world, Christmas trees don't sit on solid ground, they float. In cities like Dubai and Italy, you can find Christmas trees defying gravity, positioned over calm waters of ponds and rivers. In 2017, Dubai made history with something that seemed straight out of a fairy tale. There, at the imposing Burj Al Arab, the city's luxurious 7-star hotel, a floating Christmas tree was set up, and it wasn't just any tree. It stood over 10 meters tall and was adorned with nothing less than gold, diamonds, and even jewels. The tree seemed to defy gravity as if suspended by magic. Its installation was a grand event, enchanting not only tourists, but also locals who could witness an impressive fusion of Christmas tradition and unparalleled luxury. Photos and videos went viral, showing the world that in Dubai, even Christmas is a luxurious and surreal experience. In Italy, we can also find magical Christmas trees reflecting the lights of historic cities over calm waters, creating enchanting scenes that look like they belong on a postcard. Each one with its unique touch, but all sharing the same idea, taking the Christmas tradition to a completely unexpected level. And speaking of incredible trees, we can't forget to mention Australia. The country brought a unique idea to Christmas with an underwater Christmas tree. Instead of common branches and ornaments, this tree was set up on the ocean floor. Located in the Great Barrier Reef National Park, the tree was decorated with artificial corals and underwater lights. The idea, in addition to being a work of art, also served as a reminder of the importance of marine conservation. A Christmas in total harmony with the ocean, bringing beauty and environmental awareness to the festivities. Although the Christmas tree has its roots in Christian religion, today it is much more than that. It is a reflection of the cultures and beliefs of each place, a true representation of the diversity of our planet. And here's the question: what does your Christmas tree look like? Do you prefer the illuminated version, full of twinkling lights that transform any space into a colorful spectacle? Or are you more of the traditional tree type, with ornaments that have a special meaning, reminding you of the old Christmas traditions? Oh, and before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll stay updated on more fascinating stories and curiosities. Hit the bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Merry Christmas.